In today's lesson, we are going to analyze how spin changes the cue ball's path. In this video, we're going to look at this particular shot, but we're going to shoot it with 9 different contact points on the cue ball. We're starting with a center ball hit to have a reference shot because it's very important to understand what the cue ball does without any spin first. One thing we have to talk about: speed changes everything. Every shot that you see me hitting here is played as a center ball, but the cue ball will travel a different path each time because of the different speed. If you want to know more about that topic and the cue ball physics, you should definitely check out this video, which is one of the best on this channel. For this video, however, I'm trying to play each shot with the same amount of speed so that we just have the factor of spin that changes the path. So this is our reference shot with no spin on the cue ball. When adding topspin, we can see that the contact point on the first rail changes just a tiny bit, even if we're playing high now. This is because it takes the forwards rotation a while to grab on the cloth when playing harder, but you can definitely see the curve. The contact point on the second rail, however, changes by quite a lot. This is because the follow applies a force towards the direction that we're shooting to. I know this sounds complicated, but it's very easy to understand. You can learn more about the force of the cue ball in the other video that I just mentioned. When playing the shot with high and outside English, we can clearly see that the contact point on the second rail changes a lot and is almost identical with the contact point on our reference shot. However, the incoming angle is very different, and that's why the cue ball ends up 2 diamonds away from the corner pocket now. What do you think will happen on the next shot where we just play with outside English? The contact point on the first rail will again stay about the same, but when we're playing at the vertical center of the cue ball, we can add the most amount of English. That changes the contact point on the second rail and causes the cue ball to hit even further away from the corner pocket on the third rail. Low and right will hold the cue ball longer on the tension line now, because the forwards force is reversed. This means the cue ball will hit closer to the corner pocket on the first rail, and this changes of course the contact point on the other 2 rails. And here comes an interesting question. If I play this shot now with just low, will the cue ball on the third rail hit closer to the side pocket again or closer to the corner pocket? As you see here, the cue ball hits the third rail closer to the side pocket, and this is because the right hand English causes the angle to open on that second rail. Imagine you're playing the cue ball from here into the rail. Without right hand English, the cue ball will bounce off like this, and the right hand English opens the angle. And that's exactly the same principle here, so with just low we can even bring the cue ball into the side pocket. Now we're starting to do the dangerous stuff by playing with inside English. First we're going to play it with low and left. Do you see how the English slows the cue ball down quite a lot? With outside English, the cue ball would have traveled a lot more because it speeds the cue ball up. When playing with just right, you see that the cue ball doesn't stay that long on the tangent line and hits the first rail earlier. Since we're at the vertical center again, we can add more inside English to the cue ball. And when playing with inside English and high, shouldn't we not be able to add enough inside English now? What do you think? Will this cause the same result as on the previous shot, or will the cue ball go further to the left or even further to the right? What do you think? As you see here, it's enough English, and the force of the cue ball that the follow will cause again helps us to get even closer to the rail here. One important thing at the end: the speed of the shot changes the outcome a lot, and also if you're hitting the object ball into the center, left or right part of the pocket. I also could have made this video 20 minutes long and compare every shot with every other shot that I played here, but this is on you. Maybe watch this video several times and compare everything to understand what happens. And most important, set this shot up yourself, do the same as I did and analyze everything. One question of my latest video was if I have a Fargo rating. And well, since I'm living in Germany and I don't play a lot of tournaments in the US, well, basically I just played 1 tournament so far, which was the Derby City Classic. I don't have a Fargo rating. And what surprises people very often when I tell them is we don't have any rating system at all here in Germany. I would love to have one for Germany or for Europe, but we just don't have one. And yeah, That's why I also don't have a Fargo rating. Okay, I think that's it for today. If you liked this video, please consider to leave a like, leave a comment or share it with your friends. And thanks to my sponsors, thanks to my patrons, and thanks to you for watching. And as always, see you at the next lesson. Take care.